Hey. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Friendsgiving 2025. Come on in. As you're coming in, say hello to us in the chat section. Let us know that you are there, that you can see us, that you can hear us. Put your city and your state in the chat section. We'd love to see you where you are streaming in from. So again, welcome. I am Dr. Michael Russ. I'm your host of the Friendsgiving segment. And listen, I've got some wonderful friends here with me tonight that you're going to hear from in just a short moment. But let me tell you this, we are streaming via Facebook, and we are also streaming via YouTube at Dr. Michael Russ. I know we live in a day and age where some people, they feel like they don't, they're not really on social media, meaning Instagram or Facebook. So you do have the opportunity to go to YouTube. But again, we are streaming on Facebook. For those of you who are on Facebook, if you will, do me a favor, like and share. So that will help get us in the algorithm, and people will know that we are on and we are live. So if you like and share on Facebook, you can comment as well. And maybe you will even do me a favor and take it a step further and text somebody. Let them know, Friendsgiving 2025, dating, what are we even doing? All right. So text somebody, if you will, go a step further. Let them know you want to tune into this conversation. We are here at the virtual table to talk about dating in 2025. Now, listen, it says 2025. Okay. That's just because that's the year that we're in. But we're not limiting it to 2025, right? We're going to talk about just dating at large, our dating experiences. Tonight, we've curated an amazing session. You're going to hear from real people with real stories who are navigating dating just as you are, right? So I don't profess to be an expert. Now, I don't know. Maybe I invited an expert tonight. I don't know. I'll let them speak for themselves. But we don't profess to be experts. We just profess to be individuals like you who are sharing our stories, who are navigating the dating streets, right? Going through this world like you are as well. So listen, tonight, it's going to be a funny conversation. There's going to be laughter. There's going to be comedy. But it's also going to be a faith-filled conversation, right? It's going to be grounded as well. And it's going to be a transparent and vulnerable conversation, because I think that we live in a day and age that's what people value the most. All right. So again, we are streaming on Facebook. Please like, share, comment. Go a step further, if you will. Text somebody that we are on live as well. We are on YouTube at Dr. Michael Russ. You can comment and let us know that you are watching as well. I believe the comments should come in from Facebook into this platform. But if not, they definitely will come in from YouTube onto the platform. Listen, if you have a question, I did post about, hey, if you have a question, send a question to ask the panel. And I did get a couple questions that we will ask later on. But if you do have a question and you didn't send your question in advance and you want to ask the panel tonight, feel free to drop it in the comment section or text one of us. If you can't get into the comment section, put question before your post. That way we will know it is a question. So listen, without further ado, I am going to have our panelists introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about them, and then we are going to go deeper into the conversation. All right, let's kick it off. Listen, I'm going to kick it off with I'm calling him our resident OG, if you will. If you were a part of Friendsgiving last year, then you saw this young man. You saw him on the panel. He's returning again this year. So what we'll do is we get started with Sean Sanye. Then we'll go to Carrie Harris. Then we'll go to Pastor Jared Fletcher. And then we'll go to Shamisia. We'll have everybody introduce themselves and go do all that jazz really quick.
Oh, man. Sean Sanye. I'm 41. Live in Alabama. I've been knowing Mike for well over 10 years. Probably longer. Maybe
way
15.
longer. Closer to 20, buddy. Closer to 20.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm here. I'm here to have a great night and make y'all laugh.
I love it.
My turn? Okay. So I'm Carrie Harris. I am 39 years old, and I currently reside in Los Angeles, California. Some fun fact about me is I actually am a world tap dance champion.
No.
Tap dance?
Yes, in 2002.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that about you, Carrie. All right.
You know, got a little bit in my step.
Okay. I love it. I love it.
Well, I don't tap dance, so there's that. So I'm Jared Fletcher. I just hit that big 40, 4-0, and everything hurts.
Congrats, bro.
I don't know if I want to be congratulated on that just yet. I don't know. I don't know how I feel yet. Everything still hurts. I'm still trying to figure that out. Fun fact. I got a lot to say tonight.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
All right. We here for it.
Yes. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Sharmesia, and I am 36 years old. Shout out to being the baby on the call, I guess. And I am in Dallas, Texas. Fun fact about me, goodness, what do we say? I am a very multi-talented person. You know, painting, singing, business, visionary, mother, all the things.
Okay, absolutely. Absolutely. You are definitely a multi-talented individual. Yeah, so listen, this is going to be a great conversation. Again, as you all are tuning in, let us know where you're streaming from. Go ahead and like it, if you will. Share it on Facebook. You can still text it to somebody, as well as you can stream it on Facebook or send a Facebook link to somebody who may not be on Facebook or Instagram. All right, so listen, let's jump right into it. So my first question for this amazing panel is, I want to ask this question because I think that while many people may or may not verbalize it, I absolutely feel that people think about it on some level. All right, so I want to talk about this concept of, are we living in faith or is it fantasy? And the specific question is, do you think the Christian culture today over-spiritualizes dating and finding their person, right? Believing that God will just tell me that's my wife or that's my husband. Or actually, maybe you're on the other side of the spectrum and you say, no, we actually under-spiritualize when it comes to dating and finding our person. I'll say this, that's the main question, but let me give a little commentary. I was watching a video the other day by this somewhat prominent married couple, and the wife asked the husband, like, did God tell you I was your wife? And he was like, no, he never told me that. But I also feel like we live in a space today where some people, that's where they are, Jared. They're like, no, if God does not say she's my wife, I'm not moving. Or if God does not say he's my husband, I'm not going to say yes. And I've known people, hopefully they're not on tonight, that have asked even mentors like, oh, is he the one? Oh, is she the one? So I want to dive into it. The first question right off the top is, do you think in this Christian culture we over-spiritualize dating and finding the one? Or maybe you say, no, we actually under-spiritualize it. We didn't involve God enough. What do you say? It's an open question to the panel.
Well, we all jumped out. I think it's very over-spiritualized. But I also, so I don't know if anybody else on this call has been married before, but I have been. And my at the beginning, when I was entering into marriage and deciding that, it was very much what did God say, and what you hear, and a lot of pressure surrounding marriage. It becomes like this trend, like that's the only goal. And I think that sometimes it becomes the only goal, and then people are missing out on actually like pursuing one another, or actually dating and getting to know somebody in a very like deep way. That's a person you're going to do life with. And so when the only measure of entering relationship is this your husband or your wife, and that's it, there's so much more to a marriage. So I think it is still very over spiritualized, and I think it's I think it becomes the target. It becomes I feel like watching being divorced and then being in the dating climate now and watching the different just how people are approaching relationships. It's like, oh, I need to get married. I need my husband. I need this. I need that. I need this. I need that. But do you even know what you're asking for? Because it's all that's told. Like you just got to go get married, because all you hear is he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Okay, what does that mean? Right. That's just my 2 cents.
Somebody else jump right in. What are your thoughts?
Personally, how can I trade this line? Let me sip a little tea. I've been in relationships where the other has been like, the Lord told me you was my husband. We ain't together now. So did the Lord lie, or did you lie? Which one is it? That's what I want to know, because everybody always want to talk about what the Lord said, but my thought is that love is a free will choice.
Come on, don't get ahead of me, but I like where you're going with it, sir.
I'm about to walk that plank, Doc. Huh? But it is. Love is one of the most is the choice that the Lord gives us that is absolutely free. It is costly, but it is free. We get to choose who we love. We get to choose who we love, and then also we get to choose who we do not love at the end of the day. And because the Lord may have, I don't think it was the Lord, it was your gas. It was your want. You wanted the Lord to tell you that I was your husband.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted. That's what you fantasized. That's what you were born to believe. But no, I think the church as a general don't do a good enough job at teaching people how to be prepared for the one. I think the church sucks at it, if you want my honest opinion. I think the church is the worst. Never mind.
Go there.
I think the church was one of the worst places.
Okay, you're gonna need to unpack that now. You just can't leave that cliffhanger. Unpack
Not
that.
Not a problem, because we absolutely over-spiritualize and oversensitize the fact that, you got to get a church girl, you got to get a church guy, you got to get this, you got to get that. It got to one point in my life where I didn't want a church girl. Give me somebody who loves the Lord but ain't caught up in y'all jargon.
Okay.
Sean, am I in the book, Doc? Give me somebody who loves the Lord. I don't need somebody running around with a hot about a shinga about a Honda when you a hellion. Huh? But you go to church.
Oh my God. Sorry. Go ahead, Carrie, because you said.
Go on in there, Carrie. I'm gonna shut up. I told you I had something to say. I told y'all I had stuff to say tonight, but I've been instructed by some of my family members to act like I got some sense.
Okay.
You know what? You are very much telling the truth, because it's on both sides of the sexes when it comes to that, male and female. And the thing is, I've dated inside the church, I've dated outside the church. And one thing that I can truly say when it comes to the church talking about marriage is they're going to pressure you to find somebody, especially as a female. That's very, very scary. As somebody who is hyper independent, it was something that was I'm actually in the process of still unpacking, that you don't need to fight for something like that. Because at one point in my life, and I hate to say this, y'all, but it was when I was down south, because I'm originally from Massachusetts, moved south, and that's where all of this was instilled in me. I was like, is something wrong with me? Am I not doing God justice? It is actually a bit of a trauma to be real and unpack on that. Like, the church can actually bring trauma when it comes to those things. And
talk.
Yes,
No.
there needs to be a balance between independence and getting into marriage. Absolutely. But at the same point, you shouldn't be forcing that on somebody, because I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people are getting married later at the same time, because a lot of people are in the church and they're realizing that they have to make decisions themselves. They can't just sit there and wait on God. God will give you a If you have a relationship, he'll give you a playbook on what type of person you need, as long as you know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you can't find out who you need. And that's the thing. That is absolutely the thing. And a lot of people are in the church broken and don't know themselves. The church well, you just need that husband. You need that wife. And there are broken men and women in the church searching, breaking each other's hearts, because that's all that's instilled is get married, get married, get married.
Yep.
Yeah.
Carrie, hold on, Carrie.
We can go down that lane part about it is how many broken hearts we've done. We can't, Carrie. You opening up a can of worms. Now, listen, I know we all like to paint ourselves as saints, but I know we have. I know if the lights were to talk, they tell on us. Go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead. I just wanted to go ahead.
Because Carrie said something that was so good. It is the fact that the church wants to preach. Get married, but the person preaching getting married is married but got a side chick. But I'm gonna shut up.
Oh, wait, come on, no, but
shut up.
No, but you're not wrong, because what you just said, the trauma instilled, because what we're doing, and again, I'm not a psychologist, I'm just a student of life. We are creating so much codependency and brokenness with that push, and that's the danger, because we're not teaching people to learn who they are. We're teaching you, go get married and you're going to figure out who you are along the way. And honestly, this day and age, we can see that's not working. This is why divorces are so high. And honestly, I say to women, I can only speak to women because I'm a woman. Learn who you are before you get married, because guess what? Your standard for what you want is going to be very different. You don't know who you are if you just get married because they said, hey, that's your next thing to do outside of college or high school. What are you doing? Because in 5 to 10 years, you're going to be arguing with this person because you're going to look up and be like, either I don't know you or I don't want to be this version of me, and you're requiring it, and now we're having problems.
Yeah. Let me dive in on that. Jeff Smith is one of my old boss. Thank you for tapping in, Jeff.
Hey, thanks for tapping in, Jeff.
Here's what the word says as well. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, right? That's what it say. If you literally break that scripture down, as for me, what you got going on? Have you checked me? Have you checked yourself? And my house. You can't come in God's house if your house ain't together.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? But we wanna go serve the Lord. Shut up.
Come on.
Stay at home today. Stay at home this Sunday. Stay at home until you get home together. And that go for pastors and preachers and people who want to spew this rhetoric of, well, you got to be a Proverbs 31 woman. You got to be the man that she's looking for. Don't even get me started on that tonight. But it's the fact of, I think the church is doing too much when it comes down to that. Get out of people's relationship.
Yes.
Get out of people's relationship and provide safe spaces for when their relationships are in trouble.
Come on, because that's when they're not, though. And so many people are getting, I mean, literally it's wreaking havoc on people's relationships, unfortunately.
So the question is, for those of you who are just tuning in, we're asking, in this Christian culture space that we live in, we operate, many of us are in, do we feel that there is a over-spiritualization when it comes to dating and finding your partner? Or maybe somebody's on the other end of the spectrum. They say, you know what? I don't think we involve God enough. I want to hear from the resident OG. What are your thoughts?
I think that the church over-spiritualize it because they want you dumb and reproducing.
Ooh.
All right. And what I mean by that is,
go ahead.
When they want you just right enough. You got to depend on the church. That's what the church wants. So they push marriage like slavery per se. So when I'm gonna get you married, that way you can have sex, fornicate or whatever you want to say it, and be okay with it. But I'm gonna put you in a rat race. It's just like working. When you go get a job, instantly 9-to-5 attitude, you're in the rat race. The church pushes marriage so you could be in the rat race. You will always need the church. So that means you will always be in attendance. You will always pay tithes. And it keeps going. So to me, when you see people like, oh, I got to find my husband, I got to find my wife, that's the reason why when it's coming from the church is not building you for marriage to be successful. They're building you for marriage to rely on them, because once I get you married and you're uneducated, you're just going to have sex and you're just going to bring babies. Think about it. Think about like small church, and you see families, you know, they 5 kids strong. Same way with preachers. They 5 kids strong. Like, it's a reason they're just producing kids. Like, because now I can look at it from the preacher standpoint. I look at it. The preacher have a lot of kids because if you see he got a lot of kids, you feel that he needs you. Vice versa. The member has a lot of kids. They need the church. You know, so it keeps money generating within the church system. But at the same time, it's broken homes because we're not teaching people fundamental life.
And so I want to jump in there because that's where I was going with it, because I want to bring some balance to the conversation, right? Because we know the church is not perfect. We know no family is perfect, no home is perfect, no marriage is perfect. And so to bring a little balance, because we are not here to, you know, dump on the church, right? Yeah, because that's where we get fed from. Many of us, we still serve in the church. So I want to bring a little balance. You said something about there's no teaching. I think you were going down a lane of like no teaching in the home. So my question is, while we are talking about this over-spiritualization, and it seems like many of us feel like there is not, do we also feel like some of this teaching needs to come from the home, right? Because we can also say the church. What is the role of the home and also teaching, the right approach to this? Is this also an indictment on the abandonment of many of our homes, the lack of teaching, the lack of standards, the lack of modeling? My question is, what role does our family and our homes play in also teaching us the right way when it comes to approaching dating and finding our partner?
Mike, I'm gonna back up. I'm going back to run over the church. I'm gonna run the church over. Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you why.
You're trying to get me in trouble tonight. You're trying to get me in trouble.
Because I'm about to explain why I'm going to run the church over.
Okay.
My pastor does an amazing job of breaking this down. Because to Sean's point, there are too many churches who are pushing marriage to fill seats to get those tithes paid.
Okay.
Right? But my pastor has done a marvelous job helping me understand, and it's a black culture and white culture thing. The black culture thinks the church is the building.
Mm-hmm.
And in another culture, we understand that the body of believers make up the church. So when you talk about going home and down dealing with house, you are the church. Your church is at home as well. So is there an indictment on the church and home? No, there's an indictment on you as a person and how you are growing up through your trauma. Because I hope we talk about traumas tonight and undealt with traumas tonight. I pray to the Lord. There's a question in there about that.
All right.
But when you do not heal, when you do not deal with that, you know what? Here's this thing. I was watching this clip yesterday on social media about this mama who was mad at her daughter because her daughter had been touched illegally by her uncle or something like that. And I'm going to paraphrase this conversation. And the mama got mad at the daughter for not asking for help. And the mama said, how am I help you when I'm still dealing with my own trauma in my grown life? I said, well, amen, church.
Yeah. Okay. This is good. We're listen. We're only on question 1. All right. We're only on question 1. So
somebody said 25 years old with 5 kids. When did y'all start? 2.
Listen, man. I want to talk about that. Okay, at home, right? Growing up. So I think that. So for me, I grew up primarily with my mother, stepdad, grandparents, and my mom's side. But I would go to my dad's in the summers, and it was a parallel experience because my dad was at a small storefront church that was like on fire. We were at church multiple times a week type of situation in Georgia. Now, they were very, very, very clear on, almost like my stepmom would kind of mold us for preparing yourself to be a wife. She would say, like, they would tell us, you don't date until you get married. So there was pressure in a different way from them. Now at home with my mother and my stepdad, they were never talking about your goal is to get married. It was go to school, figure, be on top of your life. And at the same time, not to just air everything, but it was dysfunctional as well. From like my grandparents, and then just watching my mom navigate when she got with my stepdad, who was the most stable person she ever dated. I watched her date, right? And then get married. And so for me, I was in elementary school, probably like around 5th grade, 6th grade, like I'm never getting married and I'm not having no kids. Like that was just kind of my mindset. I was not interested in that. And so with my dad and stepmom's posture being, this is the way, this is how God expects it to be, this is how you're supposed to be. By the time I got out of college and ended up getting married, which was very shocking to me and my family, my core family. I don't know. I feel like that. So when I eventually did, for me, there still was pressure from the church because I had started going back to church regularly. And then there was a whole lot of, hey, this is your husband, before it was even established that we were fully dating. And so it still came with pressure from the church, to be honest with you. But at home, I got different messages. So there were different values, one rooted in the religious expectations, one where it wasn't necessarily that, more so like protect yourself. You better not get pregnant. Don't be out here. There's still value that was rooted in my household that I grew up in, but never was it like, you got to go get married. It was more so, please more protect yourself and actually finish school and things like that. So two different situations. Just that's what I dealt with growing up.
I think for me, home is important. And home should play a major role in your development individually. Like, I have a strong church background childhood going into my teens, but at the same time, it was never pushed for marriage. It was always pushed for be a man, chase your dreams. You can do whatever you want to do. That was the talk. So I think those things prepare you for marriage. To me, when I see people push marriage early on in life, you're basically, as a man, I'm going to say as a man, you cannot provide at 18 years old. You don't, like, you got to start learning yourself. And you got to actually set a foundation to be a man, to be a husband. And I think that's what's missing. Nobody wants the man to set a foundation to be a husband. We have just basically went on in the past. You marry off at 15, 17 years old. When you look at your grandparents, when they was married, and hey, they go through the struggle, the rat race. But it's now you're seeing a lot of women and men developing into their 30s. Yeah. Then I want to be married. But now you come into it where it's unfamiliar territory. So I'm 30, I'm successful, independent by myself. She's successful, independent by herself. But at the same time, now she don't know she don't want a provider. And so you battle, hey, well, I don't need you. I don't need you. So it's a headbutting now that we're experiencing, where we are seeing less people married, but they want to be married, but they can't be married because the ego don't allow marriage to happen.
Okay, so listen, I know y'all got more to say, but I got to move this conversation along. And you said a key word, which I think is a great pivot to my next question. So it's clear, I think, that we can say that faith definitely shapes, how we see dating, right? But I want to talk about something else that I believe also impacts how we see dating. And it's the word that you just mentioned, which is ego, right? Because sometimes I think it's not that God is just blocking us from finding the one or love, but it's our ego. So my question to you all is, expanding the conversation, do you think that also part of today's dating challenge, finding the one, is also this thing that I like to call our dating ego. And what I mean by that is, even though we are people of faith, somehow, perhaps, we also have gotten caught up in how do they look? What do they make? What's, I think the phrase for guys is, you want somebody that look, trophy wife, right? You want somebody that looks good on your arms. I don't know what the saying is for ladies. Y'all can let me know, right? But status, right? Instead of how does someone actually make you feel? How does someone actually treat you? So do you think that the part of the challenges today is we're caught up in this dating ego? And if so, have you ever struggled with this? And how do we keep this ego from preventing us from really finding our partner?
Got to go to therapy.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. That was my number one thing right there. The thing is, once you heal, you don't do those things. You don't have those ego issues. And the thing is, you're always healing. So the thing is, you always need to have a therapist in there. The end of the day. And the thing is, I'm sorry, go back to the question, because I had it. Yes. And then when he said, I lost it.
So part of the challenges today, we're caught up in this dating ego. Is that part of the challenge today that's making it hard for people?
Yes, a lot of people, it goes back to people having the fear of going to therapy and working on those things as well. Because there are many people that still have that stigmatism of hey, I go to therapy, I'm psycho, as opposed to, hey, I'm trying to break these generational curses, so I don't put these on my children and my children's children and so on and so forth. A lot of people deal with things in the closet, like for the longest, all these things, and then they want to accumulate things to make everybody feel like, oh, they're so successful and they're doing so well. I am absolutely a recovering one of those. For years, I was that person that was always looking for the perfect man. I always dated the doctor, the dentist, all of those things because they looked good on paper. But lo and behold, they weren't. They weren't. But at the same point, I decided to go on that journey personally myself to figure out what is wrong with me, to figure out that I want these people that are doing this, that, and not. But at the same point, it's okay to want somebody that wants something for themselves. That's another thing too. So, because a lot of people, just because somebody's not, let's say, no offense if anybody's a garbage man. I'm just saying garbage. But if somebody's a garbage man and really want to, they're really starting their own business on the side, but they make $50,000 a year. Like, that's okay. They've got a goal. You're meant as a wife to support that goal. Whatever the person that you choose to be with, you're supposed to help support that goal in some way, shape, or form. And at the same point, you're supposed to have your own goals at the same time. I'm kind of rambling, so I'm going to stop.
No, you're not rambling, but I hear what you're saying is that, we have made it about sometimes status. And you're saying if you do the work, really those things shouldn't matter. Jump in. I want to hear from a couple other people about this dating, this ego. Has ego made dating part of challenging as well?
Yeah, it has, because based on what she's saying to us, everybody wants finished product. Nobody want to build.
Okay.
All right. So when you build, you got time and you grow together. But if you want finished product, it's like, all right, you already coming in with stipulations about the finished product, but you don't really, I'm gonna just say this, you don't have no say so with the finished product. If he already a finished product when you get him, or she already a finished product, you don't really got no say so. You just got to deal with what the finished product is. You don't get to come in and have influence. Like the goal is to mold your person for you. You go through the trauma or the the building phase of her growing or him growing. So if you don't go through that phase of helping them build where they're at to become what you desire, it's always going to backfire. Because if he already the finished product and you looking for him and you still got to grow, he gonna leave you. She gonna leave you. Because again, I'm already here, baby. You can't come in and dictate how things are going to flow, and I'm already a finished product for you.
Mm-hmm.
Process.
So, I want to jump in right there.
Go ahead. I'm gonna hold mine to the end.
Because if we're being transparent on this good old StreamYard on tonight, I've dated thinking I was building with somebody when they were actually a project.
Oh, okay. All right.
And you gotta leave them.
Because here's the thing. If we're building, that means we both got the blueprint.
Okay.
That we both are the architects of this. But if I come in building and you're still a project, which means you haven't moved to the building phase. You're still in the architect phase. You're still in the blueprint building phase. And the issue is in that building, in that project phase, is that now you start to rely on me to finish your project, to build you up.
Correct.
And the issue with that is that we ain't equally yoked. When you think about being equally yoked, it is an oxen with a yoke on their back, and we are equally walking together. When we are building together. I'm not dating for a project. And my issue is in my dating time is I was dating too many people who I thought were buildings when they were actually projects. They mean they came unhealed. They had stuff they needed to deal with. And guess what? I'm not, just because I'm now the man in your life, don't mean I'm the man in your life to heal your traumas.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Because a lot of people get into relationships and now you want to trauma dump on me, what you should have healed before you showed up.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm not here to carry your way, baby. Wow. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Pastor Jared, you dropping a whole lot. I need to dissect it a little bit. Because I want you. There's several things I want you to clarify. But so let me do this first. You talk about projects versus building, and maybe somebody says, "Hey, you know what does he mean when he says I'm going to build with someone, but I don't want a project?" Because somebody may say, "Hey, I have my vision together. I know where I'm going, but you know what? I'm still putting all the pieces together. I don't have the grant just yet. You know, I don't have the house just yet. I don't have my credit at 750 just yet." So when you talk about building versus the project, can you delineate a little more about what you're talking about?
Absolutely. If you come in, okay, let me put it like this. Marriage is not about a feeling. Okay. You get married off an informed decision.
Okay.
You want to walk into a marriage with the best information about your person possible so you guys can build together. Okay. If you're telling me you want to do certain things, okay, cool, you got things you want to do. We can help build that together. But if you walk in here, I don't know what I want to do. Well, I think I want to do this today. Or I think I'm going to go do this today. Or I think I'm going to do this today. I think I'm going to do this today. You ain't building nothing. You got a bunch of projects.
But what if somebody says, "No, you just married a visionary"? And as a visionary, they always got visions. What? Come on,
a visionary.
I want to dig into this a little bit.
A visionary.
Don't give me no. Yes, have a visionary, but have execution with your visionary, with your vision as well.
That's the action.
Where's the threshold? Hold on, because okay. So this is good. This is real good right now because I know I'm a visionary, right? I know what I've built. My thing is this. I'm at a stage where I've already built up a man. I'm not finna do it again on the level that I did before. It broke everything, right? And I had to repair. So any man who's wanted to date into that repair zone, that was almost like if I would have known, caution sign, hey, because I have to go through my process, but you don't know it when you're in it. So yes, therapy is a must, going deep diving with yourself. And sometimes I think on that dating process, I'm a person who's very intentional and self-aware, and I'm a dig into the darkest places. So people want to date you. They see you as you're rising and this and that. And it's delicate timing, because if I can know, I'm a person who feels inside, like I can tell when something's off. So if we're talking towards marriage, or you want to do all of that now, then the antennas come up. Well, what does that look like? I want to know what that really looks like for you. What are you going to do to be stable and sustain? I have 2 kids. There are things that are going to be required. It's cool when you're having fun, you kicking it, you doing all of that. But as a person who knows they're a visionary, who knows I've built whole businesses and ecosystems, and maybe I'm reevaluating. So everybody's situation is different, right? But even that, if someone comes in on your chapter of recovery, when you've already done these things and executed before, and you're realizing, how do I do that again? Where's the threshold? Or is it that I have to get to a point where, for me, let me just get some of my baseline things done, and then maybe somebody come in, because I don't want you picking at me while I'm trying to reestablish, because you feel like I'm a little too scattered for you. When in the realm, if you're really a visionary, it took Noah how long to create the ark? Are you going to have patience with me? Because if you can't really build with me, and I know the magnitude that I build anything and anyone next to me, I'm real cautious. That's where the caution has to come in, because of any woman that knows she can build, we're multipliers. So I know if I'm going to covet what God has given me, the skills and gifts that God has given me, sir, anybody who gets chosen over here, you're going to flourish. So I'm going to be a little cautious in just picking anybody. But I mean, I have kids again, and I have great vision that is going places, but sometimes people aren't patient enough to see it through, because they can't even grasp it. And maybe that's where unequal yoke comes in. But sometimes, how do you know, right? How do you know until you're just, sometimes you reach those points of like, oh, dang, this really isn't working. But I don't know, what's the threshold from someone who is actually a visionary versus a woman who maybe you just have a bunch of ideas, but everybody can't concept them because they might look frivolous to them, Well,
you gotta execute. He used the word execution. I use the word action. If it's not action in your conversation, you might be unequally yoked with me. Equally yoked is not a possession or monetary situation. You can come in, you could be the breadwinner, and I could be underneath you. I could be making the 50,000 as a garbage man, and you making 6 figures as the business owner, and you have the house. I live in an apartment. That's okay. But our attitudes of action and where we're trying to get to, that's what makes you equally yoked. Attitude. So if we going in the same direction, and yes, I'm building, or I could be a project, just being honest, as the under person. But if my project has a system, and I say, this is what I'm trying to accomplish by this date, and I'm going to accomplish this. If you're working towards it, you leave project status and you come to building status.
I love that transition of how you leave, because I was about to say, Jared said he ain't dealing with no projects.
Yeah,
right?
because here's why. I'm gonna tell you why. It's because I've dated. Since we talking about dating, I've dated where how can I say this? Because I ain't trying to ruffle no feathers tonight. I'm trying to be good.
All right.
I've dated the person who got vision, okay? But who has vision, who had already had the building, but you broke.
Yeah.
Hold on, here it goes. You broke because you do not want to execute and live in the building that you built. Then you're telling me I'm not supporting you, when the thing that can make you money is sitting over here to the side. You just don't want to touch it.
Oh man.
Like that is a thing that, and then it goes into, well, you're not supporting me, you're not building with me, you're not believing in me, but I'm watching your vision die over there in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, you are a poor steward of what the Lord gave you. So if you're a poor steward of what the Lord gave you, that means you're going to be a poor steward of our relationship as well. Because that vision was inside of you before we even got together.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay, I'm gonna start.
No, you
go ahead,
just
Mike.
so good. That actually, no, that's so good.
Just really quick because it's what you mentioned, Macy, and it's off script. It's not one of my main questions, but one of your questions was like patience. How much do we display? And you just talked about this year. So I'm going to ask this question. I think it goes along with what we're talking about. So how do we know? Here's the question: are we leaving these situations? Because again, Jerry, you said, "Hey, I'm not going to stay the project. I'll be with someone that's building." Sean, you talked about you can transition from being a project to building. So my question is, are we also fighting this this tension of like we're leaving situations too quick, right? How do we know when we should stay versus, you know what, this person, you know what, they have exhausted all of their grace. I see Carrie saying no, we're not leaving too quick. Jared saying no, but again, we have this grappling with, okay, how much patience should we really give as this person is, i.e., maybe in a project stage, they have a vision, they're trying to transition, or they're in a building stage. So again, it's not one of my main questions, but I thought we were talking about it. Unpack it. Give your thoughts.
I think that
I'm gonna let Sean, Carrie, and Shamisha go, and I'm gonna come last because we all jumping in our pants to answer that question. Mike,
we're
not
too
go to another
old
question until all of us have answered that one. Because we have got
okay.
for that one.
I just need to say we're too old to be too patient. Like to be that patient. Like we at this point, our frontal lobes are fully developed.
Right.
So at this point, waiting for somebody is going to kill your purpose. It's going to kill the promise God has actually for you. You'll be like, get that. I got somebody else for that person. But I was going to connect y'all and see if y'all were.
Preach.
I'm not waiting. I refuse to wait. If I see somebody is not going to lead the way they need to lead, especially as somebody that is a recovering hyper independent, I'm not going to wait because it's already hard enough for me to try and let you lead. So I'm not doing it. That is an absolute no. And it's not like a one here, a one off there. It's like, no, you will see the consistency. At this point, I'm seeing the consistency within a couple of weeks.
Dang, Gary.
I think
lying. Go ahead, Sean.
We don't have a lot of time. I don't want to keep it to age. What I'm saying is just in dating in general, if you got discernment, you're gonna be able to see what is what. So when
I like that.
It don't matter what they're doing. Once I communicate with you on a consistent basis, I'm getting to know you and we're starting to date, I should know if you're making effort to progress. Or I can just know, well, nah, this person is just stuck in the rut. Where they at? They complain a lot. They give me all these excuses. They don't want to put in the extra effort. And that lets you know. So you don't have to waste a lot of time. Like sometimes, in the first conversation with a person,
Yes,
if they are moving forward in their stuff, by what they're doing. So like, I'll just say this. If I'm talking to a female every day and at no time is she telling me she at work, hold on, ma. Hold on. Wait, how them bills
you were sugar daddy at that point, Doc.
Nah, we're gonna do that. So, we ain't gonna do the sugar daddy game. No bills paid. We take care of when we together going out, but we're not paying them bills. That's your responsibility as a human to pay your bills. So when you start seeing that, she needs money, she needs this, she needs help with that, that lets you know, like, hold on, man, you are a liability. AKA
that's when the project comes in, right?
Yeah, because projects are liabilities. Buildings are not liabilities. Buildings are assets. So when you realize, you just a project. You ain't trying to build and get some equity to bring back to the crib. You just coming in and you taking what you're gonna get, and like, hey, you cool with? Oh, well, I need 500 for this, or blah blah blah, and you ain't making no effort to grow your situation, it's a problem. And I think if you are healthy in your mental, you will figure out very fast who is building, who's a project.
I think on both sides. So I still say, what's the threshold? Because I tend to be a person who give people opportunity for a long time, right? And what happens when you're unevenly yoked, you start seeing things go down. Your finances might start getting funny, or you can't focus on finishing a thing, or probably on both sides. I don't know how it is for you all, but I think that to that point, what if you are dating someone for, let's say you're not married, you're dating someone for a few years, and one or the other of you fall on, hard times? Could you expect that person? I guess I'm not on the whole bandwagon of let's ask every single dude that wants to talk to you to pay something or ask for money and all of this, which I've been told is dumb, but I just don't. It's just real hard to be like, hey, can you pay? No. But if you've been dating someone, when do you call on that person? Because if I'm going to marry that person eventually, wouldn't you want, as a woman, to know that you're with someone that can stabilize and provide?
Well, even if you are the years, I already know. I'm gonna say, if we dating, you already old lady status. If we've been together some years dating, I, as the man, should already know this. I should know what is normal and what is emergency. And I'm not going to say it's my job to cater and provide everything, but when it's an emergency, and I also see that you put your priorities in check, as in you didn't go and get your hair done, you didn't get your nails done, your nails ain't been done in 2 months, and something come up, it's my role as your man to say, all right, babe, I got that for you, or I'm covering you in this season. If that's the case. Now, because if we're not, you may have to say, well, you know what? I can cover you so much, but maybe we need to downgrade your place or what you're doing to reduce your liability so we can make sure you're good and you can bounce back, blah, blah, blah. But if we invested years, I would assume we already passed that you're a project. You're not a liability if you got years invested.
So listen, we're gonna give Jared the final comments on this question, and then we are going to transition because there's a lot of commentary on this question. I love it. Go ahead, Jared.
If my sister's on here, she's gonna appreciate what I'm about to say. She told me years ago, Jared, you need to have a quicker picker.
Ooh, I like that.
She said you were wasting too much time trying to pick what's already been quick for you to see.
Okay.
I've wasted, in my 30s, I wasted a decade on dating, having kids, getting married because my picker was not quicker. And here's how you get to a quicker picker is you got to get past that representative stage absolutely fast. And the only way you get past that representative stage is you got to start asking hard questions at the top. Ask them boys in the first few weeks. And then if you get past a month, ask the question again to see if the answer is the same. And if you get past 2 months, ask it on month number 3. But for me and my emotional state, I'm not dating nobody else for no more years. I ain't got no more years to give you. I'm trying to have kids. At this point in my life, Mike, I am 40 years old. That means by the time my kids get out the house, I'm going to be 58 or 60 years old. What am I doing? I'm going to have gray hair at my kids' graduation. I don't like it. That's because I wasted so much time with people that didn't mean me no good. You got to have a quicker picker.
Okay, this is good.
You got to ask all the questions up top. I'm going to say this. I'm going to get off of it. I think people get this backwards. I think people go to marriage counseling too late. You go to it too late. You get engaged, then you want to go. Reverse it. Go first, then get engaged.
Okay.
Put them through the ringer first. Get to know who you are with. Get to lay foundation. Get to know how they handle arguments, disagreements. Get to know how they deal with their finances. Get to know how they do family. Get to know how they get to know all of it, so you can have an informed decision before you say yes. The ring ain't the goal. Eternity is the goal. To death do us part is the goal. And the only way we're gonna get to death do us part is we got to know that we're running the same race. And that don't mean get the ring first, then run the race. That means we're gonna run the race. I'm gonna give you the ring, and we're gonna keep running. The ring is a bottle of water in the race. It's a quick sip. The wedding is a quick sip. But the race is for us to be to death do us part. But the issue is a lot of us, me included, I wasted so many years, Mike, not picking quicker. Here's why: because I seen potential without progress.
Well, Jerry,
listen, this is so good. This is so good.
Well, Jerry,
so good.
they feel
we
they can just
stay
a light
here.
switch and be a wife.
Say it again, Sean.
They feel like they can flick a switch and be a wife. So what he's saying, as in the ring comes after the work of the therapy sessions, they don't want to do the therapy because they ain't a wife yet,
bro. And guess what? A ring don't make you a husband. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know, bro. I'm about to Doc. I know some dudes that was in them streets before they got married, and in them streets after they got the ring.
Yeah, they never
You know
killed
what I'm saying?
themselves.
Like the ring, the wedding ceremony don't change you,
right?
Because one thing marriage does do, it's a reflector. It makes you look at you, and it makes you grow. But potential without movement, without progress, I can't do it, Doc. And the issue is, I stayed in relationships that I should have left a long time ago.
And that's usually it. No, we got to move on. Next.
I got to move the conversation.
That's good.
We're gonna somewhat stay here. Okay, Jared, you mentioned that you were advised to have a quicker picker. So my question, the next question is this. I'm pivoting just a little bit, but I think it's appropriate. I don't think we have enough discussion today, especially for those of us who, you know, as best as possible, we do want to get married and we do want to get it right. And of course, I don't think anybody goes into marriage, you know, thinking they're going to get a divorce or want to get a divorce. I don't think. But I don't think we have enough discussions today about how it can be challenging to really find your person. Like, I don't think we create space to be vulnerable about that conversation. So my question is, how hard is it really to find your person, the person that it clicks? I think the word's been thrown around tonight. You're equally yoked. They understand you. You understand them. I mean, y'all just fit. When we're talking about that, it's mutual, it's easy. Doesn't mean y'all don't have disagreements, but do you feel that it is harder in today's society, or have expectations about love and dating made it harder? Talk about it.
I was just about to say that earlier, and the expectations that we have, and I know I've had high ones, but at the same, I think it's expectations that made it really hard. And the flipping sometimes too, when you're talking about she can't click and be a wife, sometimes my issue is naturally that's in me, so I'm doing that before somebody really presents themselves. So then you have, with giving that naturally, there's an expectation of, well, I think that you should be able to do X, Y, and Z. It's either that or it's the total opposite, where it's too, let's be a little I'm gonna be disconnected in this because I'm trying to protect my heart. So I think a lot of the expectations are way high, especially for us women that have had to fare independently. And so I think a lot of that is, and I don't know Carrie's experience, but a lot of that is rooted in trauma and in self-preservation, and that doesn't leave room for real dating.
So the question is, for those who are just tuning in, and for our panelists, how hard is it to really find your person? Do you think it is harder in today's society, or have expectations made it harder? What are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Sean.
Social media made it hard,
bro. It's not a real place at all.
You got 100 options, where in the past you just had your neighborhood or your area. That's now, listen, we got Cali in here, We got Texas in here. We got Alabama in here.
Yeah.
And, you know, like we got somebody who they in Nigeria watching at the moment.
Yeah. Right.
No, we got options. And if you got enough money to go and meet those options, yo, you got too many people to watch. Like you can't just say, like, you know what, you nice. And then you like, oh, hold up. I just saw this chick. She got a way bigger booty than you. I'm going over there. So, you know, you got options, man. And it's hard to get your eyes on quote unquote the prize. So
hold on. But options without discipline equals destruction.
And guess what? Everybody struggles with discipline. Not many people are going to be disciplined enough to say, you know what? All right, let me focus on you.
Yeah.
You know, and then you also got to battle. Are they disciplined enough to know that you're focusing on them to focus on you? So the odds are stacked against you. So you, as a man, if I say, oh, you know what, I'm focusing on you, I'm gonna be vulnerable with you, and I open up to you, and you ain't even on that page of understanding my vulnerability, and you abuse my vulnerability. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm going back to the streets, regardless. So a lot depends on you. You can set the tone for yourself, but your person that you focus on has to be on the same page, aka gotta be equally yoked in that segment of the relationship. So if I'm vulnerable, you gotta be vulnerable. You cannot demand me to have vulnerability and then you control what my vulnerability is for you, and you don't allow your vulnerability to come to me as well. So, hey, it's hard. So picking a person now, you're right about the quicker picker. You're right. People don't like it when they're gonna call you a narcissistic. They're gonna call you cold-hearted, nonchalant. But as soon as you say, hey, you know what, you ain't the right one, man, on about it, now they label you a bad person because you went against the grain of liking them. You didn't give them enough time to quote unquote allow you to like them. It's like, no, like, yo, it's just red flags. When you see them, old quote, red flags don't turn green.
Bro, they don't. And here's the thing, bro, to that. The reason why you gotta have a quicker picker as well is, especially like Shamisha, you got kids. Like, I've dated a woman with kids, and the hard thing is now those kids get attached to that guy. There's an attachment there that, man, that hurts when there's a separation in that. So now there's time, there's an investment. Here's the thing: relationships require investment. We just can't skate by keeping on dating, especially with women with kids. Like, I've dated women with kids, and at the end of the day, if you're not going to be there and be 100 with them, get to rolling, get to moving, get to hitting it. And the thing about social media is, you're right, Sean, it does present options. But one of my homeboys right now, I commend him for doing something. He got married, and he said, bro, I said, bro, I tried to tag you on something like that. He said, I had to cut social media off because it was making me desire something that wasn't real.
That's nice.
So he cut it off.
Heavy.
He cut it off so he can live and focus into what he needs to focus on and build what's at home. As for me and my house, I go back to it. He had his house to go worry about. And that is so important. Like, social media is not a real place. And the reason why we can't find love immediately, well, never mind. I'm going to stop off that. Carrie, you got something. I almost went that way again.
Maybe it is because I am a quicker picker, but I don't find dating hard. And maybe it's yes, and I think that's really the key in all of it. I think me and you might have a conversation a long time ago about like dating and how I do cut off fast. But the thing is, because I know what I at the point in my life. And I know what I don't want in my life at this point in my life, because I have been that person that like me has been, that has given my all to relationships and left broken at the end. I don't want to do it again anymore. So at this point, I know what I want. It will come to me. I tell my therapist all the time, I am outside by myself, outside, very approachable, talking to people all the time. The right person will connect with me. So at this point, I am just doing what God has me doing. And when you don't have the fact that, oh, you're almost 40 and you're not married, like what's wrong with you, and all this stuff in your head, it could be because I'm on the West Coast now too. It actually makes it a lot easier to be more decisive on what you want and how you want it. Because at the same time, people don't realize a lot of people are getting married older and things like that, but people are living longer. I have seen about 5 different people that are over 100 years old this week alone. and kids make you younger. And the thing is, women are having kids older now too. My parents had me older, and they're still both around. So I think as a society, we put in our head that we need that person right away. And the pressure feels like it's getting worse and worse. But I am a rare breed. So that is, not many people think like me at this point, but it's just, I got sick of it. I got sick of being that picker and picking all the wrong people. So I chose to focus on me. So it hasn't been harder. So when I do go out on dates, I can easily tell, okay, I can go on a second date with you, or I can go on a third date with you, or I think we even have any type of compatibility. So yeah, I don't really, at this point, for me personally, I don't think that.
Dr. Russ, can I comment on a comment?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Go right ahead.
The chat is a comment in the chat say vulnerability, being abused, and going back to the streets is a poor excuse for a man who should maintain his credibility and integrity to the Lord. And it says, then says the streets have nothing on God promises. Okay. What I'm saying is a Jezebel don't care who she controls. So right. when the guy used his quicker picker to relieve himself of the Jezebel that has attached to his spirit, he can go back to the streets. The streets don't mean, oh, I'm going out here wilding. The streets mean I'm back in the dating pool. I've loved the Jezebel. And the Jezebel don't have to be a woman. It don't have to be a man. It's a spirit. A Jezebel don't care who vulnerability they're attacking, who vulnerability they're abusing. They want to control what you have. They want to take from you. They don't want to give nothing in return. They're taking from you. So to say it's a poor excuse, I don't think it's a poor excuse to say, I don't want to deal with you no more. I'm going back to the streets. The streets is where the selection is. I can't get a selection if I'm saying, yo, I'm gonna stay with you, and you abusing the one thing that I'm giving you that allows you to actually say, this makes us intimate. When you're vulnerable with a person, that increases the intimacy that you're having with a person. That helps the relationship grow. So if we're going to sit here and say, well, if they're going to abuse it and you want to leave or make an excuse to leave, we're not promoting healthy relationships, which goes back to the church from the very first question. The church ain't providing, they just want you married and dumb. A dumb person stays with somebody who abuses them verbally, mentally, physically, all of that abuse. If you're going to stay with that, yes, you are dumb. And that's what most times we're not seeing within the church. They're not helping us be healthy mentally when it comes to relationships. No, he gonna change, baby. She gonna change. No, let me leave her butt. Leave his tail. He ain't If he out there still cheating and doing whatever, he don't want you, baby. He just wants to have fun. Let him go have fun in the streets. Hey, sir, I don't care about providing. Some women just, hey, he provides, so he gets to cheat. That's a stupid idea. You don't stay with a person for what they can do for you on a monetary basis. If they're not feeding your spirit, you need to leave them alone.
Tim
Right. So I want to say
said God provides. Okay,
and I want to say this, and the person just commented because I think the going back to the streets is relative, right? I understand what you're saying, Sean, as far as, hey, going back because the situation is not working for you. But I think this person, and they just commented and said the word going to the streets sounds like going back to being loose is what I was stating, beloved. So that's what they're talking about. They're talking about going back and being, sexually promiscuous and things of that nature. So I think there is a delineation on when you two use going back to the streets. You're saying don't say anything that's not healthy. It's not mutual. They're abusing your vulnerability. And I think this person is saying, from a Christian standpoint and the character integrity, that doesn't give you a justification to just go and act amok, if you will. But I got to move the conversation forward because we're getting close to time. For the sake of conversation, I am going to get two more. I have several more questions, but the next two questions I'm going to ask as panelists because there's going to be a moment where you can get more in depth. So for the next couple questions as panelists, I'm going to ask you to give your response, keep it 30 seconds, and let's let the next panelist get in as well, okay? So for the next two questions, this first question that I want to talk about, we're talking about ego. We're talking about what impacts our dating experiences. I want to talk about this concept of pressure. I'm sure you all have seen it on social media. You see it on memes. They say apply pressure, right? And so it's the thought of if you really like somebody, maybe they're not responding the way you want them to respond. The thought is, hey, apply some pressure to them. But then there are others who say if you have to apply pressure, they don't like you like that. They don't want you. So the simple question is, what side are you on? Apply pressure if you really like somebody, or no, I'm not applying pressure. I want to hear from you really quick. What are your thoughts?
You always lead with intentions.
Okay.
So that's your pressure. Sometimes
I like that.
Sometimes pressure to people is different things. Like I think for clarity, when you hear a female on social media say, "Oh, come with you got to do it with pressure," basically they're telling you lead with your wallet.
Oh. Okay.
What Sean said.
I was about to say he's not lying. He's not lying. As a female, I know females that apply pressure, and it's an extreme toxic trait. What I was gonna say is, because I agree with Sean, like intentionality is where it's at. If you lead with intentionality, then I know you want me. If you're not being intentional, like you're not sending me a text or you're not calling me, that's okay. We're just gonna move on at the end of the day. But it's a very toxic trait to apply pressure because you want somebody to do something. It is very narcissistic.
Yeah.
Very,
it's
very, very narcissistic.
It's manipulative. Apply pressure. No, I'm not finna, if it's inauthentic, no. And anybody who's applied pressure to over here, honestly, like in that way, I'm good. Like, because to me, again, it's not genuine and you could tell. So if you're applying pressure as, oh, let me take you here, let me do this, let me do that. So what, in a few months, if I date you, that you can just turn into like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Like, what? No, thank you. I'll go sit at the park and talk to you on a bench before we go doing all that. Mm-mm.
Pressure can
if I heard it correctly. Say it again.
Pressure busts the pipes. You know, like as a man, when you leading with attention, it can run them off. I'm just being honest. So, like, as much as they be like, "Oh, apply pressure when you're talking to me," and they get in a situation where they can't handle the pressure, it busts the pipes and they run away. Because I'm speaking personally. I come with a lot of things already taken care of. So when you start saying like, "Oh, well, you know, what you looking for in a man, what you want him to do, or what you want in a woman," and you start saying, "Oh, well, you know, I just need conversation and time with you. I don't need you to do the other things, you know, coming through, you know, like when you're dating, like if I go to a female house, I'm gonna take the trash out. You know, chick may come to my house, she may, "Oh, I'm gonna wash those clothes for you." And you'd be like, "Oh, well, I don't really need you to wash clothes. I don't really need you to cook for me," type stuff. And like you're telling them, like, I need conversation. I need to see how you're wired brain-wise. And then when you start, that kind of pressure can expose your mate. We want to put it on a female. We want to say your mate. And when you start exposing your mate, that's when that pressure busts them pipes. And they don't know how to repair.
Oh, that so okay.
I'm so sorry. I gotta jump in. I gotta jump in.
Yes.
But I want to say this. So I think the common theme that we're all agreeing for the statement is that the intentionality, that is the pressure. And as mature adults, anything beyond that, miss me with it. Is that what I'm hearing? Is we're kind of all in agreement there? Now I gotta move the conversation, Sean. So I'm gonna have to ask you for 30, 45 strong seconds, no more than 45. But you made a comment about when women say apply pressure, most times they're saying you should pull out your wallet. But I believe somebody in the comment is saying that's not what that means for all women, though. So do you want to speak to that? 45 seconds. 45 seconds.
Listen, applying pressure varies from person to person. So you got to understand the person that's saying apply pressure. Because you can, I'm going to just say this. Apply pressure means somebody say planning dates, which is great, right? The guy can plan the dates, but I'm sorry, are you going to plan dates? Do I have to plan everything for us to say, for you to feel that I'm applying pressure? It's a mutual energy that we have to have amongst this. And so I'm going to just say this, even dates. What is a date? You know, like, because sometimes applying pressure could be, I want to go to STK, you know? And, or you tell a chick, all right, cool, I'm coming to pick you up. We're going to go out to eat. We're going to go to Chick-fil-A, get sandwich. Then we're going to go out to this movie or something. Chick-fil-A? I want no Chick-fil-A. You supposed to be applying pressure. How you applying pressure and we're going to Chick-fil-A? So you got, if you want, I'm going to just say this, you cannot dictate what the pressure is. When he plans the date, you can't be like, well, it's beneath me. McDonald's can't but be beneath you if you're not paying for it. If you're not planning the date yourself. So that's my thought on that.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta move. I know I got something to add. I gotta move. I want to respect your times. Hang it here with me. All right, I want to. This is another quick one. Just give me your thoughts. I don't need a long, elaborate response here because we got a couple more questions. That part. So I want to talk about your dating philosophy because this is popular in social media, in the real world. We got different thoughts. So I want to hear from you, the panelists tonight. What is your dating philosophy? I want to hear from the women and men. Do y'all date multiple people at once? Or do you focus on one person to, lean in with that individual? If you do date multiple people, is somebody pleading the fifth? If you do date multiple people at once, do you share that with them or do you keep it private? So the question is, do you date multiple people at once, or do you wait and to see if there's alignment with one person? What's your thought? I hear from everybody really quick.
Are we being truthful? Or are we just, Okay.
I'm gonna start.
What's going on here tonight?
I think
what is going on here?
You should date multiple people. You should date multiple people until one person steps up to the plate and cancel out the others.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is when you put all your eggs in one basket, and they know they the basket, it's a problem. So when it's competitive competition, which is cool. Like, and I'm not saying when you're dating everybody just so, because I know it's a church situation. We're not talking about having sex. We're talking about just dating them. You got a rotation of 3 or 4 women that you talk to, or men that you talk to, you go on dates with and things like that, and you give your time to. But somebody got to step up to the plate and say, you know what? I'm number one. You can't, hey, none of those. I'm going to say this, how I feel. I'm the best option, baby. So if you got somebody, you got another guy that you're trying to holler at, I know I'm better than him. But if you want to do it, it's cool. I will date other people as well. So we can't get in our feelings unless we're saying, yo, we're exclusive to each other. But when you say exclusive, you got to be ready for exclusive behavior.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
all right. I gotta hear from my other panelists. Carrie, what are your thoughts? What are you doing? You date multiple people at once, or you locking in on one person?
I don't have the mental capacity. I've tried, and I just don't have the mental capacity, to be real honest. And the thing is, because I'm intentionally taking in all of that, of what they're doing and who they are as a person, and I don't want to mix that up on people. When I did, I made them very aware that I was dating multiple people. But at the same point, at this point in my life, I couldn't do it because it's just the intentionality for me. And if somebody can take me from my current process where I am working and trying to build and all of these other things, then the word of that time. If they want to date somebody else at the same time because they're exploring, go ahead. But it's just I'm in this rare space where it's like I don't have mental capacity to juggle more than one man.
Missy, Jared, I want to hear from you real quick.
Okay. So yeah, I like to focus on one person exclusively, to be honest with you. But when I am like dating, it definitely can't be one person at a time because I lock in. So I try to at least be, but in just to Carrie's point, those seasons of time, I realize how much time I lose on building my business or focusing on my kids or whatever have you. And so I get to a point where if one is not working, then I'm good on everybody so I can focus.
I'm dating one person at a time because I'm not saving all y'all numbers just to delete it. That's my final answer. Next question.
Okay, I can dig there, Jared, but I'm not. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Okay, listen. I want to transition for the few minutes that we have left. I want to transition and ask some gender-specific questions, and then we will we had a couple questions from the audience, and then we'll wrap up with some specific questions for each panelist. I won't be able to do both specific questions for each gender, but I'll do one. So I'm gonna start with the men first. What I want to know from the men is this: what captures your attention? So when it comes to a woman, what are you really looking for in her? Is it not just physically, but I'm talking about in qualities, I'm talking about in essence, presence, mindset. What actually captures your attention and what are you looking for? That's the question I want to hear from both men.
I look for spirituality. I like to make sure that she's close to God. I like educated. Conversation is big. Knowing how to communicate, being able to communicate is huge. We like nurturing women, and also I say conversation, but I like a woman who can take herself out of the box and critical think. I think that's a huge component for me for longevity is to be able to critical think in scenarios where she's not just thinking the way of her thinking. She can think for Joe Blow down the street or someone from a different class of life and think why they're doing that. So those are the things I look for: spirituality, nurturing, educated conversation, and just being able to critical think. That's my tops.
Mine is easy. I want to know if she's hot. If she's honest, open, and transparent.
Okay.
That was good, huh?
Okay.
Got you.
Yeah. You got me.
He's superficial. He just want to know if she got a big booty. I don't.
Right.
What's important?
No, but really, I want to know if she's stable.
Okay.
Stability is a big thing for me. And how healed she is. Like that is. If you're not healed, and I put it like this, that you're working actively towards your healing. You ain't got to be all the way healed, but please be working towards that at the end of the day. Because if not, your triggers will resurface and your triggers can be damaging. That's all I got. I'm gonna let that be.
I love it. I mean, I wish we had more time to dig into that, but I want to keep it moving. So I want to come to the women and transition and ask them this. We hear a lot today about, shooting your shot, right? I saw something on Instagram the other day where the lady was saying like, yo, I'm around these guys all the time and they not shooting their shots. Like, open your mouth. So here's the question. As a woman, how should a man approach you? When it comes to approaching you, do you like direct and clear? Or do you want him to be creative and smooth and romantic, buy you some flowers or some roses? So how do you want men to approach you? Or better yet, what feels respectful to you versus he's doing too much?
For me, conversation. Approach me with a conversation. That is the first thing. That is how you are going to get my number. Is if you can approach me with a conversation and the conversation is actually an intellectual one and it's not, and it could be something fun. We could be watching the basketball game and we could be talking about sports, but I am going to be able to read your intellect at least a little bit and want to know that I'm interested in you. And then you can approach with that phone, can I get your phone number? That is how I like to be approached. I don't like to be directly approached. Hey, you're fine, shorty. Let's go out. Like, no.
Yeah. I would say the same. Like if you're out, definitely I'm a communicator when it comes to just everything. I'm a person of depth. So I want to talk. I want to know who you are. I want you to be interested in asking me asking me questions, and definitely directly ask for the phone number. And if it gives me an opportunity to say no, or I'll connect with you. I know the guys hate it when you be like, just follow me on Instagram at this point, so you can decide. But no, for real, like I'd prefer a conversation so that we can establish right then. You'll kind of know from there. Because if people can't carry a conversation, or if I'm too deep for you, I want to know right away so we don't waste no time.
So listen, I want to ask this question here before we start to wrap it up tonight, because in the promotion material, it was dating in 2025. What are we even doing? So there's this book out. I don't know if you can see it. It's by John Gray. Maybe I see Carrie nodding her head. It's a New York Times bestseller. And it says, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, right? And on the inside of the book, it says you can't live with them and you can't live without them. So here's a question that I want to ask before we start wrapping up this evening, which is, what do you feel that we misunderstand about each other? What do women misunderstand about men? And what do you think men are misunderstanding about women? Let's tackle this question and then we'll start to land this plane.
Can I say, I feel like, and we can circle around this, but listening to Sean and Jared tonight, and then thinking about some of the echoes with men that I've gotten to have other conversations with, I feel like sometimes I really believe that we get into a space where we don't realize or are not taking into account that men actually do have feelings, like y'all are vulnerable, that you guys go through things, that we are maybe being a little selfish at times, or just really, I think the biggest thing is men have feelings. Like, y'all don't necessarily feel the same way that we do, but I think in my experience, and I could just talk about me because I can only talk about me, that we can disregard a man's feelings so easy. And it's not fair.
I like
What's your cash app? Because you about to get $2.
Come on, send it. We could do that offline, y'all. Unless y'all want to send some money, you can go ahead and praise over here.
I believe it's sacrifice. The cost of sacrificing to be a quality man is taken for granted.
Ooh.
So I don't want to go deep into it, but as a man, it's a choice you make every day to be a quality man. So it's a choice I make every day to be a father. I don't have to be a father. I don't have to be a quality man to a woman. I don't have to be that. I make that decision every day to be a quality man. And it don't necessarily means I'm being a quality man for that woman. I'm being a quality man for myself. And she gets the perks of me being a quality man. So you get in relationships, they, whether it's past history that they've experienced, and they come to you and they don't appreciate those sacrifices that has taken place prior to her and doing her of what it takes to be a quality man.
Okay. Carrie?
I would have to say, because I agree with everything that everybody said so far. When it comes, and sometimes it's fine. I'm trying to say it. When it comes to strong, independent women, we do need you. We do. We're figuring out ourselves how we can, because we've been strong for so long. Sometimes we're just waiting on you. And I say that because when you're strong for so long, reversing that is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So patience is required in strong, independent women.
Wow.
Agree.
Thank you. Jared?
I agree with literally what all my friends have said tonight. I think the biggest thing that I don't feel like there's much of a difference between what a man wants and what a woman wants. It's just wrapped differently. I think it's the same wants. A woman wants to be cared for, nurtured, and protected. In reverse, the man wants the same thing. We want to be cared for. We want to be protected.
That's good.
We want to be nurtured. We all want that. I just think it's wrapped differently. And I think the work is trying to learn how to do that for your person. That is the work. And I don't think enough of us commit to that work of learning that. One of my best friends said this. He said, I have become a master at loving my wife in her language.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not my language. Not the language I want her to have, but the language that she's speaking in, and I have to be proficient in her language. And I think when you become proficient in each other's love language, not the book, everybody's love language looks different. And I think when you become proficient in your partner's love language, then you begin to see what once was separating you now pushing you guys to be what the Bible says now. What two have now become one. Okay.
I love it. I love it. That was really good. Y'all, man, y'all started to get deep on me there. Carrie, Jared, everybody started to get deep. Listen, okay, we did get 2 questions that were submitted from the audience. So I want to ask these 2 questions, and then we will start our official descent. So first question, obviously I'm going to protect their names for confidentiality, but the first question came from a woman, and the question was this. They said, I'm dating again after 3 years, but every ex that I have dated has cheated on me. I'm talking to, they said, and even the last person that I talked to, they cheated on me as well. I'm talking to someone new, but as you can imagine, this has been very hurtful, and my trust level is low. So they wanted to know, how do you date after your trust has been broken so many times? How do you move forward without assuming it will happen again?
You know, I think you learn from past history. Like, you got to be honest with yourself when you go into a new relationship, leaving the last. And she needs to possibly go back in her mind and say, yo, what led up to the cheating? What was the similarities in these men that happened prior to the cheating that I noticed? Because I'm not going to blame her. It possibly could be a disconnect that she has with men. Like, her standards could be an issue. You know, like, she could be concrete in something that's saying that the men are saying, like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. It could be a lot of things, but it also could just be she picked bad men.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, I would say, like, I love where you're going, because I feel like when we get to the point where we're asking questions like this, I think that's a moment where, as hard as it is, because loneliness is real, where you got to pause, because there's a pattern at play. And it may not, again, not to gaslight or say, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong. It ain't necessarily that. There's a pattern that you need to discover within yourself when it comes to relationship patterns. So, like, there could, for example, again, I go deep. Like I said, I go very deep. So I'm like, man, if I'm constantly having, broken relationships, what is it? What is the common thread? It could be that, hey, I go ahead and just self-sacrifice immediately, and then you become a doormat. Or I watch, or I've been looking for my father, right, in the relationship. So have you broken your daddy issues? Have you come to face them? Have you faced those big issues? Because then you're projecting probably on those relationships, right? Again, I'm not a psychologist, but I think it is a pattern issue. And again, if you're back in the dating field, it's going to be a choice. I'm going to choose not to continue the same pattern of fear, doubt, and mistrust when it comes to men as I enter into these dating experiences. If I'm still in the loop of fear, mistrust, and all of this, then maybe I need to pause and go sit with me for a little bit longer, because it's really just rooted in a pattern. And it's the same type of men. So you probably have dated the same man in different bodies, and he may represent a father figure or a person in your life from childhood. That's what I would go start with.
I want to jump in on that because you opened up a door that I had to come. I was getting my haircut a few months ago, and I stepped into this realization because me and my barber was having a conversation. And it is the fact that I started to date what I felt like was the same woman over and over and over and over. And I had to realize that there was, my best friend said this to me. She said, what inside of you is attracting this level of toxicity or accepting it?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm about to say something, and y'all about to probably close y'all cameras. I had to realize that my first toxic relationship was with my daddy.
Ooh.
That was y'all go. My first toxic relationship was with my father, because I allowed that man to come in and out of my life, in and out. Broken promises, broken I'm on my way, never showing up. Like, that was on Jared. right? And so therefore that thing translated all the way into my adulthood because I never healed that first toxic relationship. So when you're entering into relationships and you're starting to see a pattern, to y'all point, you got to look in the mirror and say, what about me is accepting X, Y, and Z? And is this X, Y, and Z showing up in Joe Blow, Tom, Dick, and Harry? That's the research that you have to do within yourself. And if you're not prepared for that, don't date. Sit at the house. Go get a cat. Walk the dog. Do something different.
Listen, can I throw a plug in real quick for sister, whoever posted that? Please follow me on Instagram because we have Temp Check coming out for Move My Live. We want you to live your life fully. And the Temp Check fast is about breaking these patterns because they're real and they're killing us. They're killing our relationships. You don't deserve it.
Yeah, break them.
Yeah. Carrie, did you have anything or are you good?
They said everything I was going to say.
Okay.
Absolutely did, because I was that one. I was her. And I chose, my last straw was my last straw. And I chose to pass it out, pray it out. I went back to therapy and I stayed in therapy to realize, no, it's not just them. It's you. You've got these issues that you're not dealing with and you need to deal with. And when you get to the other side, and I say this to this person, when you get to that other side, it hurts. Getting through all of that trauma that you have dealt with, whatever it is, it hurts. But when you push through it, you will cry. You will have blood, sweat, and tears. Trust me. But when you get to that other side, you are a whole new person. You're going to wake up one day literally and be like, what is going on? Like, I was not like this a couple years, 3-5 years ago. And it's just, you got to put in the work for you because you got to love you more than wanting a relationship. The relationship will come. It will.
Right.
All right. Here's the second question from the audience. And so this question is directed toward the women, I guess. And so they stated that they like a woman that lives in another state. They stated we've talked before and they were clear in their interest for the woman, but sometimes they felt like her energy did not match their energy. They stated that they met once in person and it was clear that they had chemistry, but they still don't know. So the question is, how do you know if the woman actually likes you and is interested, or if she's just being kind? They want to know the difference. What would you say to them?
Okay, if she's just being kind or if she likes you. I mean, I kind of feel like if you have to ask that, she's just being kind. But I mean, really, because if you're out of state, you guys had chemistry, in which chemistry is cute when we're in our 20s. Chemistry is not lasting, right? Like, you're not building anything with chemistry, especially states away from each other. If this person is not committing beyond, especially out of state, chemistry is cute. She's doing her own thing. That's all I'm gonna say there. I don't know this person, though.
Long distance requires intentionality. If she's not being on the side, and if she's not being intentional, she's probably not interested. Like, to be real honest, because there's a lot that goes on in long distance. As someone has done that a couple times, if she's not being intentional on her end, she's probably not as interested as you think she is.
And you're probably a good catch. You're probably someone who she can lean on when she's having like a meltdown or something. You may be there for her. I'm just saying it sounds a little jaded and a little skewed. If you have to ask, if you have to ever say, is she being kind or does she like me? She's being kind because you're probably just a nice person and she's a sweet person herself, but she's not that into you.
Mike, can I answer that for my brother? Whoever.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Because I've dated long distance as well.
Okay.
And the one thing that kills long distance is proximity. Women need proximity. They want to be able to touch you, feel you, look at you, see you. And that is the number one killer of chemistry. No matter how many times you can catch that flight, bro, if the reason why you can't tell if she being nice or being into you, you too far. You're too far. You're too far. And sometimes long distance work for people. At a point in my life, it worked, but clearly I didn't get married to that long distance relationship because the proximity, that distance thing was a killer. And so if you're not intentionally trying to date her and make a move, just go and cut it off. That don't waste your time. Go on to eharmony.com and find somebody local.
Yeah, I think I would say this. He has a quick something he got himself. Am I pursuing her or am I chasing her? And I'm gonna just say, as a man, you don't chase, you pursue. So if you chasing, that means I'm always the one texting. I'm the one calling. I'm initiating. She ain't trying to come see your boy. She don't want your boy to come see her. Or we make plans, she cancel plans. She don't want you. She being kind. Y'all just friends from a distance. So, and because one thing about long distance, you gotta be, like you said, proximity. I gotta touch you. We gotta be in each other's presence. Long distance relationships move faster than local relationships because it's so much conversation built for the foundation of you all. So when you see each other, that's why those weekends go by so fast. You're doing so much. Like if you just sit down and chill, it could be longer. But if they canceling out, hey, I think you said they only seen each other one time. How long they been talking? Because I'm sorry, if you ain't trying to see each other every 2 weeks, buddy, I'm be 100 with you. Somebody else hitting that. Listen, somebody else hitting that, man.
So you didn't have to break his heart like that.
Right. Oh my God.
I just said it lighter. He said it bluntly. I was trying to lighten it.
I'm gonna say this.
To go on up to DFW, go get you one of the Spirit flights for $59 to get over where you need to go, Doc.
Hey, there it is. Listen, I'm gonna say this: when you're in long distance relationships, you plan heavy, right? You plan out. So, like, I'm in Huntsville, if I start dating a chick in Dallas, all right, I gotta hit that Nashville for Southwest and say, like, all right, when the deals is. I need to be, hey, nope, I'm coming this week. Are you coming this way this week? It's, we could get round trip 150. We need to be planning it out, spending that money, locking that stuff in, because we're not around each other. If I can't just drive to you within the hour period, it's long distance, baby. So we gotta find time. I'm sorry. The doors are too far open. The window is too wide open when you long distance for somebody else, a coworker, a friend at the bar, or whoever, an ex, to be close to your person. And I'm not telling you to stay on the phone and do a whole day shift with them on FaceTime and talk on the phone all day long. That ain't the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't calling me about your day, if she ain't hit me back and on her own, reaching out and said, oh, you know what? I had such and such for lunch, blah, blah, blah. It's a place we need to try. Or, how your day going? I know you said you had a lot of appointments. Hold on, baby. Like, yo, you're not locked in with me. So I'm gonna just say him. He should not be chasing, only pursuer. It's a jog, man. If you got a full out sprint to get her attention, run away the other way.
Wow. Listen, listen. Thank you for those of you who sent in those 2 questions for our panel tonight. Hopefully you got something good out of their responses. So now we are getting ready to land this plane, but We've kind of shared our perspectives. The panelists have shared their perspectives, their feedback, their angles. Jared, what you got to say, Jared? What you got to say?
Doc, somebody talking about I want to live in your skin. No, I hope you put lotion on.
I see that.
Yeah, I want to live in your skin. I hope you put lotion on because we ain't gave you up right.
Oh my God, I didn't see that.
Doc, hold on. And I want to shout out to Doc 7PA and Mercedes Dion. Somebody said get them a number 2 from Chick-fil-A in a sweet tea. Y'all ignorant tonight. I love that. I love that. That was good.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, again, the panels and shared their perspectives and their feedback, but I want to end the conversation tonight, and I want to put the panel in the hot seat, if you will. It's not really the hot seat. It's not really the hot seat, Carrie, okay? It's not really the hot seat, but I want to ask a direct question to each of the panelists before we wrap. Jared, what are you doing? Jared, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Preparing my answer. Go ahead.
Well, I want to ask a question to each of the panelists before we wrap up tonight. And so I'm gonna kick it off with Jared. The first question is, Jared, what is for you directly, your personal experience, but maybe even you can broaden it. What would you say is in dating? How do you personally recognize real connection? And Sharmisia just mentioned it, beyond chemistry and good vibes. So that's the question for you. What would you say if you personally, and maybe just to the audience in general that's watching tonight, in dating, how do you personally recognize real connection?
Quick, reciprocation.
Okay.
Reciprocation. If you can reciprocate, that's it. Reciprocation. That's all I gotta say. Reciprocation.
Okay.
And I think the women will say, if he can reciprocate, we can build on that.
And you're saying if the woman is reciprocating, you can build on that.
We can build on that. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. All right. Coming to you next, Carrie. So question for you tonight, Carrie, is do you feel like being an attractive, accomplished woman makes dating harder? Makes dating easier or harder? What would you say?
I would say it's a mix of both, to be real honest. Just because sometimes men do get intimidated, and they're good men. They're really good men and get very, very intimidated real quick. I realized that recently on a date. But at the same time, it's still really easy because I can easily pick out, because I've also worked on myself as well as worked on my career and where I'm at today. I've been able to wean people out pretty easy. So it's a mixture of both, to be real honest. It's like sometimes end up there's people that still have things going on with themselves, and they're like, I'm not good enough for her. When in reality, it's like, no, you are. I wouldn't even be giving you my time if that was the case. And then at the other point, it's like, yes, it's hard, because it's not hard because I can wean those people out.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm coming to you, Sharmisia. So you shared that you have been married before, now divorced, you have 2 children. So my question for you is, what's one thing marriage taught you that you tell your, if you will, younger self before marrying someone again?
Ooh. I really would say to learn yourself from a really whole place. If I was to go back and talk to my 22, 23-year-old self, I'd tell her, please find all of you first. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do that work. Look at those patterns.
For sure. All right. And so, Mr. Sean, question for you is, you've You are a serial entrepreneur, multiple businesses. You have dated entrepreneurs. You dated young ladies that had kids. You've dated ministers. You name it. So the question for you is, what would it take for you to say, I'm ready, this is it, I'm putting the ring on it?
I'm actually ready now.
Okay.
So, but I think I'm also like how everybody has spoken. I'm not here to waste time. I also realized that I actually get to select who I date. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in a, when you're younger, like you're just out there. Now I can sit back and say, nope, I'm not dating that. Nope, I'm not dating that. I'm gonna date this. So I think what it takes now for me is being aligned properly. Me and her being aligned. I won't say equally yoked per se, but us being aligned. Like she has to have her things going. And it, like Jared said earlier, we ain't doing no projects. You know what I'm saying? So like, you want to build? All right, cool, let's build. But at the same time, I feel that I'm an intelligent man, and I'm at a space where I don't need you, I want you. So I get to decide. And I think in the past, it was more of I need you. And now I'm not in a need place. Hey, I want you, but I want the right person with me. And it's not for me to make you the right person. You have to be the right person on your own. We can grow together, but yo, are you healed already? I don't want to deal with your childhood crap. I don't want to deal with past boyfriend issues. You know, like if you got kids, it's great. Is he active? If he not active? If he active, kudos. I'm gonna be his homeboy. If he ain't active, yo, let's not worry about him. We don't need him. You know, and that's a decision I can make for us and saying like, yo, he ain't active. All right, cool. We don't need to worry about nothing about him. But if he active, like, yo, no, like, yo, me and him actually need to be teammates. You know what I'm saying? For the kids. I got 2 kids myself. And I'm in my kid's life actively. So I don't take the excuse of a man not being a kid's life lightly. Hey, it's a choice. And where I'm at, basically to get to that I do, you got to find somebody. I want to find somebody who's at that same place of, now this is what I'm on moving forward. You know, like people use, oh, this is what I bring to the table. Yeah, my table's stacked, but you don't have to match my stack. You know, it's the mental, the attitude, and are you progressing? Do I see the progression just from watching you from a distance? So selection, that's it. I'm a select.
So you ready now is what you say.
Yeah.
Ready now.
Okay. That don't mean go nowhere like in my DM or something, but I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at in life, I've built enough to say, you know what? I can provide. I'm stable. And I think that's the biggest thing for men, to say, hey, I'm able to provide. I've already did my building phase. Now I can focus on love and trust, things of that nature.
Hey, everybody, listen. That's our Friendsgiving 2025 conversation. Show some love to our panelists, Sean Sonier, Carrie Harris, Shermesia Chambers, Jared Fletcher. Show some love to them in the chat. Listen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We may have not solved everything, and that wasn't the purpose of tonight's conversation. It was to talk about people with real stories, real perspectives, right? And perhaps to give a little more hope. and also an opportunity to kick off your holiday season with a conversation. People love talking about dating, relationships, and love. And so we wanted to kick it off with something a little light and fun. So thank you all for joining us. This is our second annual virtual Friendsgiving conversation. Now, listen, I don't want to let the cat fully out of the bag, but what I will say is I'm already working on next year's conversation, and it is potentially going to be actually held in person. All right, in person. So be on the lookout for that. And have a little food. There will be a little food involved. So Carrie, you're gonna have to fly from California. All right, you're gonna have to fly from California. And Sean, you're gonna have to fly from Alabama. All right, the other two, they local, so they're gonna be all right. But seriously, be on the lookout for that. It's not finalized yet, but we are looking towards doing something in person, curating something in person next year. It'll be small, it'll be intimate, it'll be classy, it'll be signature, and it'll be something that you want to be a part of. So stay tuned for that. Again, we're getting ready to log off, but you can still share this video with someone. You can text someone. We know that sometimes people don't always get a chance to watch live, but I've learned that people will go back and watch the replay. So again, I hope that something was said tonight that uplifts your spirit, that gives you hope, that encourages you. And again, be on the lookout for what we will do with Friendsgiving next year. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Panelists, don't go anywhere. I'm going to say good night to everybody, and we will see you on the other side. Hey, listen, y'all here?
Yeah, it's still going though.